Ladies and gentlemen, the purge is about to happen. This is gonna be big. Things are coming to a head, and we've been waiting for this time forever, and we can see stuff start to occur here. Look at this stuff. Sealed indictments from October 30th through June 30th. So we're talking about like an 8-month span here. Just a crazy amount. Crazy. Total 40,000, almost 500. Normal for a year is 1,077, and that was in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about 40,000, over 40,000 in an 8-month period. Holy cow. And I've been starting to look at this Q stuff more and more, and it's very interesting to see. You know, I was a little skeptical of it at first, but I think we're going to start to see some headway room now. So with these indictments, ask yourself, does Hubbard have the ability to file across all 50 states? Of course the media is not talking about it, but when we look at the other article here on Breitbart, Inspector General Michael Horowitz, who is working with Hubbard, has a staff of 470 investigators, giving Hubbard access to an enormous investigative firepower that far exceeds the staff of any special counsel. So you're doing all those indictments. It's like, how could, you know, any normal person do that? He's got 470 people working for him, filing these, getting everything set. These are sealed now, and I think these are about to become unsealed. Real quick, Horowitz is the Inspector General, Department of Justice, DOJ. Horowitz oversees a nationwide force of more than 450 special agents, so he must have hired 20 more. Auditors, inspectors, attorneys, and support staff whose mission is to detect and deter waste, fraud, abuse, and misconduct in DOJ programs and personnel. The interesting thing here, he was sworn in on 2012. So, I mean, all that time, he was working in the Barack Obama. Was he a good guy and trying to get stuff going, or was he roadblocked and now he's doing what he can do? As a U.S. attorney, Hubbard has full authority to impanel a grand jury and file criminal charges. A grand jury can be impaneled anywhere, which means that it could be a group of citizens from deep red Utah in the heart of Trump country, instead of the D.C. swamp, that decides whether to hand down indictments for felony prosecution. Here we go, folks. Yes, we're gonna finally see some action, and that's why you got them trying to make us fight against one another. You know, whites against blacks, men against women, open borders versus closed borders. All that stuff is just to stir this pot up because they're losing and they know it. By the way, if anybody has seen, if you have not seen this Q, the plan to save the world, holy cow, what a great video. This goes into depth about all of it, starting back basically from the beginning, how that we were co-opted by this cabal group, you know, the selling the drugs back in, making money, making us fight against one another, of course, I just mentioned, and also how they're using technology to spy on us, but now this is a double-edged sword because they're using it too. So that's how the white hats were able to get all this information to bring them to justice. This is going to be so sweet to finally see this stuff happen. And it also goes into how the white hats were the ones in the military white hats here, recruited Trump to get this started. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people bitch about how bad Trump is. If he wasn't in there, this stuff wouldn't have happened. This is so great to see this happen. We're seeing the pedophile arrests, all of it. This is huge. We're finally getting our day, and people are still, oh, I don't know if I like him. Ooh. It's like, let's not get nitty gritty. Nobody's perfect. I understand that. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But to sit here and say that we gotta have victories here, and we're having victories, so let's just celebrate, folks. The hammer's gonna drop. And also on that Q post, it does say July 2018, the month the world discovers the truth. Now I think that this is when the hammer is going to hit about all these indictments coming out, and they're going to start bringing these to justice, because these have been going on for a while, and now it's time to bring it out to the world, and they're going to see just how bad that all that stuff really is. And there was also, you know, we're not big ones on dates here, but there was also another date that Q has been mentioning in posts for a while now, and that is November 11th, 2018. And now it looks like it's going to be the parade, and maybe it basically says the day that America's going to come back. So I hate to get too big on dates, but this is really interesting right here. World War I were formally ended at the 11th hour on 11th day of the 11th month. Talk about synchronicity there, folks. So that's just all I wanted to say. I mean, we gotta have victories here. We're starting to see victories. We need to celebrate. There's too much of that stigma in the air that, oh, Trump's a bad guy. We can feel it. It's like, no, he's doing what needs to be done. He's pushing it out there. If people want to sit here and argue about he's not doing enough or he's not good, this is all got to be done in a certain way, because you can't. They have this road mapped out, and they know exactly what to do, when to do it. Yes, I would like stuff to come out faster, but when we look at the future now, they're going to get these guys arrested. They're talking about the new currency. I had James Gilliland on the show. He talked about bringing out the rainbow currencies, what they're going to call it. But there's rumors of that coming out real soon. Start to bring prosperity to the world. Then they can start bringing the energy devices out. And then, wow, maybe the space stuff will start coming out. And it's so surreal to start thinking about, you know, I'm 31 now. What is it going to be like in another 30 years? Am I actually going to be able to go to the moon, to the Mars? Because we already know that they have all these spaceship stuffs, technologies, you know, materializers, all that. So when you get materializers in there, you're not going to need it, have a use for money. But you can see how they got to do it step by step to slowly get us there, because it's going to be too much of a jump if they just released it right now. But think of the world, folks. Like, it's so surreal to think that maybe 30 years, or before I die, let's just say before I die, and they're going to have life extension technologies too. Before I die, I could actually set foot on the moon or Mars. It's like, holy cow. Just to think about that is amazing. So that's all I wanted to say, folks. If you haven't looked at that Q plan to save the world, I'm going to put it in the description below. Just check that out. Very eye-opening, and you can see how it was going. Now they're kind of waiting to bring the hammer down the cabal, and I think we're getting right there for this to happen. So this is Dan Hohlfeld for Talk is Cheap, signing out.